Alright, this is my SX VTG series Stratocaster. This is a dirt cheap guitar here in Australia, and what you're about to hear is this going through a Mesa Boogie Studio 22. Let's do it. G'day folks, this is Shane. As you heard, this is a great sounding Stratocaster. This is a budget guitar here in Australia, and I gotta say, in terms of just quality and straight up playability, it's very similar to a classic vibe. And that said, it's about 1/3 of the price, at least here in Australia. It might vary around the world, but you know, you can get these for around $200, $240, somewhere around there here. Whereas a classic vibe might go for somewhere around $700 to $800. No joke, I've mentioned that a few times, but it's worth pointing out. I use that as a comparison just because I feel like this is a very similar guitar in terms of quality. Let's check it out. Alright, here's the guitar up close. I think this looks pretty cool. It's a black finish with a mint green pickguard. We get 3 single coil pickups, and the in-between positions are also hum cancelling. So if you're using either of these two at the same time, you're going to get hum cancelling, and you've got a 5-way toggle switch as well. So standard configuration as per a Stratocaster, volume and 2 tone controls. Input jack is here. Here's the back of the guitar. It's pretty much just straight up black. And yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. The only modification I've made to this guitar is putting strap locks on it. And yeah, I think it looks pretty great. So if we take a look at the fretboard up close, notice the size of the frets are actually quite large, which is great. A lot of budget guitars won't often have larger frets. This particular guitar reminds me heavily of a 60s style Fender Strat in its feel. It's sort of neck profile as well. It has a fairly flat radius as well, which was surprising, meaning the curvature of the neck is quite flat, or the fretboard I should say. So yeah, just check out the finish on the back of the neck. It is really, really stunning. I put this up with much more expensive guitars in terms of its finish. It's made in China, as you can see. As you can see, we also have some vintage style tuners, so these are nice and quick and easy for getting strings on and off the guitar. Once you get used to how this works, these type of tuners, in my opinion, are way better. I didn't like them when I first got them on an older guitar that I've got, but now I really, really love them, and I love that addition. These look like Clousons, but they're not. They're just that style, so yeah, very, very similar. Tuning stability wise, this guitar's great. I've played it live probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 times already, and I've had no problems with it. And if you check out the headstock shape, it's very, very similar to a Fender, minus this little bit here, which is obviously a little bit different, but it has to be. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and just it plays really, really well. If you like a Strat with a sort of flatter radius, large frets, and good tone, you'll probably dig this. Not long ago, I also did a full review of this particular guitar. This is the SX Telecaster from the same range, the VTG range. If you haven't seen that video, I'll pop it up in the cards, and you can check that out at the end of this video as well. But otherwise, I like these guitars. They're really, really cool. Let's do it. Alright, let's get into it. A good friend of mine, Khaled, lent me his killer little Studio 22 Mesa Boogie amplifier. So I went ahead and profiled that on clean with some dirt, and then with a high gain sound as well. So what you're hearing is the actual amplifier with the microphone, but it's coming through my Kemper. Let's give this a shot. This is the neck pickup tone on clean. Neck and middle. Middle, which is a pretty cool sound. Over to middle and bridge. And over to bridge. It's got a really steely sound about it, as does neck pickup. I definitely love bridge and middle for that funky sort of stuff. Alright, let's try now with some dirt. Over to some higher gain tones now. Let's start on the neck pickup. Man, the Boogie drive channel's wild, but the cool thing is you can still hear all the clarity on the notes. This is with my volume control not about halfway or so. All the way back up. Over to middle pickup. Feels great to play as well, which is really cool. Over to bridge. It's a great sound. Bridge and middle pickup. I don't often play with high gain on this position, but we'll give it a go. And neck and middle. Probably my least favorite setting. For some reason you do lose a little bit of your clarity on the top end. Every other position though sounds like the bite is there no matter how much dirt you're running. It's middle, bridge. Back to neck. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Shane. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. So what do I think of this particular guitar? I've played it so many times live already, and I wouldn't if I didn't like it. I'm not one to persist with stuff if I don't like it pretty much straight away. This guitar plays great. It stays in tune really, really well. The only one criticism I have of it is the tremolo arm. I don't even know if it works. It just doesn't feel like there's any give in it at all. I really need to open that up and check it out. But it does come with a tremolo arm, but it really doesn't feel like there's any give in there at all. So it might just mean that I need to adjust the springs in the back, but it feels extremely tight. It almost feels like it's like bolted down to the body. It probably isn't, but it feels like that. It feels just like a Telecaster in terms of move. Oh, it moves a little bit. So maybe it's just the springs are really tight. I need to get in there and check that out. But overall, in terms of playability, large frets gets the thumbs up. A 60s style profile neck as well. Kind of John Mayer-ish kind of profile. Not exactly that, but it's that sort of feel in the back of the hand. It's not quite a big chunky neck like a 50s one. It's kind of like a 60s style neck anyway. It's great. The pickups sound great. It's been reliable playing it live. I haven't broken any strings or done anything weird on it. I don't know, I really like it. The vintage tuners also gets a big thumbs up from me as well. In fact, I haven't had to do anything to the nut or anything in just terms of modifications. I think the only thing I did was maybe drop a couple of the saddles just a hair, but that was it. So maybe like a quarter turn, and that was all. So I changed the strings. I didn't have to adjust the truss rod or anything like that. So it played great straight out of the box. And this was one of those guitars that I purchased from the box. The Telecaster I actually played and had it in my hand. I said, this is a great guitar at a really good deal. Do you have a Strat? And he goes, yeah, I got one in a box. I said, I'll take it. So the boxes went in the car, got home, plugged it in and went, wow, this is actually really good as well. So I'm kind of shocked. I've done a bit of a 180 on these guitars. I always thought they were just junk. But yeah, SX VTG series guitars at least are great. I had a chance to pick one of these up for 60 bucks a while back and I declined because I wasn't interested, but I really should have given them a go. So just to be clear, I actually went out and purchased these guitars. I paid for them. They weren't free or anything like that. So I had no vested interests. I don't have any affiliate links through to shops or anything like that. But what I should point out is a couple of guys have emailed me recently and they own both these guitars and Harley Benton guitars, the equivalent kind of guitars. And I've been told that these are a little bit superior to those and they play better and there's less that you have to do to get them to play well. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's all, you know, one of those hit and miss kind of things sometimes. I'm sure people have bought duds with the SX, but it's just been interesting to get sort of messages on Facebook and emails saying pretty much the same thing. I hope you like the tone. That little Studio 22 from Mesa Boogie is an absolute monster. Far out. It was loud when I did the profiles. It was just ripping. So thanks to my friend Khalid for letting me borrow that. I really appreciate it. I might do a full review on that amp as well coming up. It's a real ball-tearing amp. Anyway, thanks again for watching. And if you want to see some more reviews of these guitars, I'll post some links up in the cards and you can check out the playlist. Thanks again. Catch you soon. See ya.